two, 1, 2. I think that we are ready to go, family. Sorry for being a little late here. I think that we are live now at this point. Let me just double check, make sure we good.
We're looking for people 40 plus who want to actually master Claude in.
We're good. All right. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. For a minute there, it was not working. All right. Anyway, let me get back to the nitty gritty here, family. Make sure that you get this. Um, Men, I want to talk to those of you in your 30s. And before I go there, let me first say I'm really excited about this news now, y'all. I have a new book out, a completely new book out that's based on the 26 principles. It was 20 and it was 25. I said, you know what? People keep saying they like these manhood principles in my videos. I need to put them all into one book. So I did that. It's called the Wise OG Manhood Code. It's available on Amazon. I've been talking about it in different videos. I'm not going to waste your time tonight because that's not what we're here to talk about, but I do have to give a plug so you know what's good, right? All right. That said, uh let me get into it. I want to talk to those of you, all men, but especially for tonight, those of you in your 30s. I want to say that this is one of the most important decades of your life. You're not in your 20s, you could make a bunch of knucklehead mistakes and do stuff and people say, "Oh, that's all right. He's young." They would give you that. They give you that grace, that pass. But when you start getting 30s, man, that pass goes away. People expect that you're gonna know basic etiquette. You're gonna know about hygiene. You're gonna be um, getting your money together. You're gonna know the rules of dating a woman, and all these kind of different things. Um, and in your 30s, you really don't have a whole lot of time to be wasting your time making the same mistakes that you probably made in your 20s because you didn't know any better. Your 30s are very important years to build the rest of your life. This is the decade, the 10 years where you're going to basically lay the foundation for the man you're going to be in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. And that's real talk. A lot of men, unfortunately, make the mistake of thinking that they have plenty of time. In our 30s, we say stuff like, I'll get serious, later. Right now, I'm just going to party. I'm going to drink. I'm going to chase these women. And that's what it is. Or we say, I know I eat junk food. I order out DoorDash and Grubhub every day, 3 different times. I know it's terrible for my health, but guess what? I'm young. I'm in good shape. I'll worry about my health later. Or we walk around broke, borrowing from relatives and girlfriends or living with women because we can't afford to get our own place. That's sometimes what it is, how it is. And so we say, I'll worry about the finances later, right? Uh, or we say, man, I don't know what I'm here to do, but I don't really care. I'm just going to take one day and take each day as it comes. I'm going to do me. I'm going to run into different ladies every week. I'm going to go to the clubs, get drunk, get high. I'm going to do me. I'm going to have fun, man. And I'll figure out my purpose in life later. Or we say, man, I'm checking out these honeys. I'm gonna I'm gonna chase these pretty ladies, these curvy ladies I keep seeing going to this club or this bar lounge over here, and I'll worry about cultivating a serious relationship with a woman I can trust, who sees and appreciates me, who works with me, who meets me halfway, doesn't cause me a bunch of arguments, peaceful type, but stands up for herself at the same time. I'll worry about that later. Now here's the problem. If you keep saying later, 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 what happens is it becomes too late. It gets to a point where it's too late to do the things you said you're going to do. So tonight, I want to give you 7 things I really think men in their 30s need to focus on. Really, really need to focus on. And of course, I'm assuming here that anybody watching this live broadcast or who listen to the recorded broadcast, what I'm assuming here is that you actually want to be a better man. Now, if you don't care about being broke, being sick, n- not having a woman you could trust, and not having, not having things going on in your life, then this won't really resonate with you. But if you want to be better, you want to set yourself up to be good when you're older, please take this seriously. 7 things. Number 1, you have to discover your purpose and mission. I always start with this. I always start with this. The first thing every man in his 30s really needs to know and be clear about is why he is on this earth. What is his purpose? And from my observations, from what I see, too many men in their 30s are living without any direction. They wake up, you go to work, you pay bills, you do something for entertainment, you treat sex like a sporting event, and then you repeat the cycle. This happens every week. You do the same things. Or you might play video games all weekend or whatever you do. But I need to tell you this, man. As somebody who's been there, of course, it was a long time ago for me, 20 something years. A man without purpose has lost before he started. He's going to be easily distracted, right? But when you know your purpose, it answers certain questions. What am I here to do? What problems am I here to solve? What gifts do I have? God given gifts that I have that I need to develop and make them better. Who am I responsible for helping? Now, some of you say, well, I got a job. Yeah, but listen, your job isn't your purpose. That's a job. You may have 8, 10, 20, 30 different jobs in your lifetime. Your purpose is just one thing. You say, "Oh, but I have a nice title at my job." Oh, I don't care. Your title isn't your purpose. You may change titles several times in your life and career. That's not your purpose. Your purpose is one thing. It never changes. You may say, "Oh man, I got nice cars. I got the hot clothes. I got the nice jewelry, man. I got the ice, the bling bling." And I'm here to tell you, hey, bro, that's great. That's great. But your possessions are not your purpose. The things you have are not your purpose. They're just things that you have. Those things can change, but purpose is deeper. A man with purpose has direction. A man with purpose is 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 a man without purpose, I should say, will be easily controlled by his circumstances. You know, if he has money, he does one thing. If he doesn't have money, he does this. If he's lonely, he does this. If he's not lonely, he does that. No, you have purpose. You're consistent. And I'm here to tell you that your 30s are a time to stop wandering around and really start thinking about your life and the type of life you want to have as a man, the type of people you want in your life as a man, the type of home and you want to live in, the type of environment you want to be in, the type of security that you have going on in your life, right? Number 2, you have to build discipline and learn to control yourself. You can't lead anybody else if you can't lead yourself. So your 30s is one of those decades where discipline should become a major part of your identity. And I'm talking about discipline with your money, discipline with your health, the things you eat and drink. You're not putting a bunch of crap in your body because if you keep doing that for 20 years, when you get to your 50s, your body is going to break down. That's not an opinion. That is a fact. Your body can take only so much abuse. And you putting stuff in with additives and dyes and preservatives, process. Oh my God, forget about it. The packaging that stuff is in, the styrofoam and all that is toxic. So you do that for 20, 30 years, man, you are absolutely damaging your body. And it's going to show. It's going to show in 20 years. I'm talking about disciplining your emotions. I'm talking about disciplining your time. Now, I've never talked to a man in his 30s who told me he didn't want to be successful. All of you want to be successful, obviously. But what I tend to find with some of our brothers in their 30s is that they do not want the habits and the work required to achieve success. It's like you want the results without the sacrifice. But you know what? I'm going to tell y'all, listen to Wise OG. Life doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. The strongest men are not the men who never had challenges and struggles, but they're the men who had those struggles and they learned how to discipline themselves despite what they was going through. So can you delay gratification? In other words, yeah, you can sell the drugs and make tons of money right now, but that's probably going to get you in prison or killed. So you say, I don't want to go to school. That's going to take money to go to college, and it's 4 years, and I may not get a job. Because you can't wait. You're too impatient. Another thing about discipline: can you keep promises? A lot of us are, people make you feel bad because you don't keep your promises to them. Hell, I make you feel bad if you that type of man. A man's supposed to keep his promises. But guess what? The number one person you got to keep promises to is yourself. So can you keep promises to yourself? If you say, I'm going to start getting up at 7 every morning, do you keep the promise? This is what I mean. This is discipline. Meaning when you don't feel well, when you got a headache, you still do what you say you're going to do. Now, of course, I'm not saying that you put yourself in risk in terms of your health. There's some days you can't do what you promised to do, and that's okay. I'm talking about the times that we justify being lazy and not doing what we said we would do. Can you do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it? That's discipline. And let me tell you something. Discipline separates men from boys. If you ever notice boys, they just do what they feel like doing. They don't have no. Hey, they hungry, and there's a big pizza. They're gonna eat the pizza. They're not worried about who's it for, who's it belong to, who's gonna get some. They Thursday gonna drink. They want to play. They gonna play. They gonna play. They're gonna do what they do. They tired. They gonna sleep. They're not thinking, I better get up at this. They're not setting alarms. So they could be like, I gotta get up. I gotta do homework. Or I gotta go to school. I gotta help my parents. Or I got chores. They're not disciplined. Men, on the other hand, might be like, man, I would love to get something to eat right now, and this corner store is right there, but they got nothing but garbage, right? I go there, I'm gonna eat junk. The disciplined man gonna say, I gotta walk 3 blocks to go to a decent supermarket. And he's gonna do what? He's gonna go to the supermarket. He's disciplined. He says, nah, I'm gonna get better food in my body. Number 3, you in your 30s, you better be mastering your finances. Listen to me carefully. Your income is important, right? But your financial habits are even more important. You know, let me tell you a little story. I went to a certain university, got my degree, met a lot of star athletes that went on to go to the pros in different sports. One day I was at a party. This particular athlete had graduated and had become a pro athlete. He saw me, say, hey, what's up? We dapped each other up. Say, hey, what's up, man? What's going on with you, man? I see you on TV, you doing your thing. He said, yeah, man, thanks. He said, you wouldn't believe. We get so much money. They don't give us checks. You know how you get checks every 2 weeks, young brothers listening? He told me, I get paid millions of dollars. He said, they don't give us checks every 2 weeks. He said, we get, I think he told me 3 checks for the whole year. That's how much money they make. It'd just be a waste of pay. I think he told me 2 or 3 checks. He told me, he said one check, depending on how much money you make, one check might be $550,000. Might be $2 million. Depends on how much money you make. He told me, he said, you wouldn't believe this, but some dudes are so bad with their money that they spend up their entire first check. Then they go on, I said, on what? He said, on women, on jewelry, other stuff, cars, homes they renting, they leasing, and not owning this stuff. They may throw away 500,000 in a weekend. He told me they blow their whole first check and they didn't save any of the money. So now they go back to their team, to the management office, and ask for a loan. Well, of course they're gonna give them a loan because they know they're gonna get. They know they're definitely gonna get their money back with interest. They have this person contractually signed, right? He said they'll spend their whole second check and go back for another. You see? And he said it's amazing. There's dudes that's making multi-million dollars, but technically speaking, they're broke. I said, what you mean? He said, because at the end of the year, they don't have too much savings because what they got, they have to pay up, they have to pay back. So listen to me. Financial habits. Your 30s are when you develop financial maturity. You have to learn how money works. You have to learn what interest is. You have to learn how to budget your money, right? You have to start reducing all these unnecessary debts you got. You have to start distinguishing your luxuries from necessities. Things you need versus things you don't need but you want them. And you have to learn how to invest. Learn what an asset is. Learn what a liability is. Stop throwing your money away to impress people or to make yourself seem successful or whatever it is. Stop it. Too many of our young brothers are blowing their money, becoming broke, and then when they get broke, what do? They get in credit cards. So now they running up the credit card. Now they owe the 3 different credit card companies. Huh? They digging in their savings. They can't save nothing because they keep going into savings. Savings is not a checking account, family. Your checking account is for bills, to go out and party, to take your lady out to a nice place to eat, vacation. Your savings is supposed to be where you save your money. But if you keep dipping into it, you're never saving anything, right? So we talking about car payments, expensive clothes, or this lifestyle that they can't afford. That's not wealth. That's performance. That's appearance. A wise man is thinking long term. So he asks questions like, if I buy this, is this going to make me more powerful or less powerful? Will I be in a better situation or a worse situation? Money is supposed to be a tool that you use wisely to help you fulfill your mission, to help you have some level of security. You ain't getting kicked out of no apartment. You ain't getting evicted. You understand? You living with a woman, she get tired of you, it's her place, she throws you out, you can go get another place because you have money, right? People don't have money are in compromised situations. They with people they don't want to be with sometimes. They are tolerating stuff they shouldn't have to tolerate because they don't have money. They don't have the ability to stand on their own two and be independent. Take care of that money. Number 4, take your health seriously. Many men in their 30s think that they will actually. I actually kind of dealt with this already. But what I want to get a little deeper. You keep saying I don't have to worry about drinking all these sodas, right? All this junk food. Because you saying, well, I'm young, I'm in good shape. You eat a bunch of junk, your body has a high metabolism, you burn it right off like nothing. So you thinking, oh, I'm good. I don't gotta worry about that. That's what you old heads gotta worry about. But here's where it catches up with you. Over time, your body keeps the score. The habits you create now, they're gonna follow you, man. So you may be 30 now, but if you're lucky and blessed, you might live to be 70. You might live to be 80. You might live to be 50 or 60. But the point is, all those years of abuse, your body's going to start to show signs of that. So in your 30s, that ain't the time to eat anything you want, family. That's the time to start understanding that food is fuel. Food is medicine. All the medications they give people who are sick come from what? Plants. Food is medicine. And if you eat right, you will never have to go to the pharmacy for some medication because you got diabetes, high blood pressure, you done had strokes and heart attacks. I can tell you about that, all right, from experience. Start taking care of yourself. And by that I mean try to eat better. Try not to eat too much. Don't be a glutton. You don't got a set amount of food. You're gonna eat all of it. You don't have to eat it all in 1 minute. Sometimes you could break a meal up into two. You can eat half of it now, and you can have half for tomorrow for lunch. Strength train. Get some weights going on. If you jog, dance, move your body. Don't be sedentary. Don't be laying in the bed all day like a loser. Don't do it. Eat better. That's what we mean. Get to rest. This is very important. When you're sleep deprived, that affects your body in so many negative ways. And for one thing it does immediately, it lowers your tolerance. The person that annoys you, when you have a lot of sleep, you can deal with it. When you didn't get enough sleep, you're ready to go upside their head. Learn how to manage your stress. Pay attention to warning signs when you're getting stressed out. Because your health isn't just about how you look, being sexy, being cute for the ladies. Your health is about how long you're going to live and what quality of life you're going to have years from now, right? Are you going to be able to walk? Can you carry anything? If somebody runs up on you, can you fight? A weak body is going to limit your ability to protect yourself, protect your lady, to do things around the house. You just don't want to be in that situation. So take care of that vessel called your body, and it will take care of you. Number 5. Remember, this is 7 things men in their 30s should be doing and taking very seriously. Number 5, one of the biggest things I see brothers in their 30s do, they hold on to relationships that no longer fit their growth. Everybody you started with isn't necessarily somebody you should finish with. So a lot of dudes, they do this. Oh, I was with her in high school. Or, oh, we met in college, we've been together. Or, I met her, she came in my neighborhood, and I knew we was together since we was little kids. Guess what? That doesn't matter. You got to pay attention to your circle, to the people, not just the girlfriends, your male friends. You got to ask yourself, are they encouraging my growth? Are they about their business? Are they accountable? Do they admit when they are wrong or when they are in violation? Do they challenge you to be better when you're trying to backslide and justify your laziness? And do they say, nah, man, you got to do better than that, bro. You got more potential. Come on, man. We said we was going to go to the gym. Let's go to the gym. Or do they constantly pull you backward? You tell them, I want to lose weight. They take you to, they telling you they get more and more junk food around you. That's not the type of people you want in your circle. Also understand that your environment influences your decisions. And if it influences your decisions, that means your environment influences and impacts your very life. Your very life is impacted by your environment. In this case, we mean the people you surround yourself with. There's a famous book. I cannot remember the name of this book. The guy basically says, show me your 5 closest friends, and I'll show you where you'll be in 5 years. His theory is that you will basically adopt the habits, the tendencies, the ambition, the work ethic, the values of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I mean, it kind of makes sense because you wouldn't be spending so much time with them if you didn't have things in common. So if you surround yourself with dudes that have no goals, no discipline, no direction, no standards, eventually that can affect you and slow you down. So what I'm saying here is, this is not just about the women. This is choose your brothers wisely. The people that you let into your life, you better be very selective with them. And you need to be real. Don't feel bad if you determine this dude or this female friend or whoever, they're not good for me. They're going to lead me to an early death. Or they're going to lead me to do something I regret. they're going to waste years of my life, you need to leave that alone, and you should not feel bad. A strong, wise man understands that his circle is part of him, so you have to choose carefully. Number 6, I know you've heard this term before, emotional intelligence. Listen, in your 30s, you got to start working to become mature. And one way you do that is by managing your emotions. Now, this doesn't mean you got to be, you know, have no emotion. You standing there looking like with a stone face. No. It means that you got to discipline your emotion, control them. So the question is, can you handle criticism without becoming defensive? Or if anybody raises something, you ready to fight them every time? Can you disagree without becoming disrespectful? Can you control your anger? Can you communicate clearly? Can you admit when you're wrong? Now, I can't tell you. I probably have in my life when I look back, and I know a lot of my friends have. You lose opportunities, relationships, good ones. I'm not talking about good quality women, educated, classy, intelligent, got hobbies, got talented, skills. They working, they got their money right. They trying to travel, they trying to do things with their life. And you lose that because you allow temporary emotions to create permanent consequences in your life. I'm going to say that again. You allow temporary emotions to create permanent consequences. Your emotions are real, but they should not master you. You should not be a slave to your emotion. You know, you watch these true crime shows and you see these young brothers, and it's like, yo, man, what? How you got multiple homicides or all these crazy things? And what happened? He said, man, I was mad. Okay, I've been mad quite a few times. I never wanted to take life. You know? So this is what we mean. A wise man has emotions, experiences anger, sometimes sadness, whatever, but they manage to think their way out of something. They manage to control their emotions. And then last but not least, number 7. Seventh thing that men in their 30s really need to do, and that is you need to start thinking about and building your legacy. I want to be clear before I even get into this. When I say legacy, what do I mean? You know, a lot of people like, when I die, I want to have a stadium named after me. I want to have a school named after me. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Some may say that's vanity or pride. Legacy means you want to leave something behind that's feeding people, educating people, protecting people long after you are dead and gone. That's legacy. You leave something here that will be here helping people long after you're gone. You know, your 30s are not just about, you know, getting with the sisters and drinking and smoking and, you know, partying and doing whatever, playing games all your life. The 30s are a chance for you to determine what you can build. I want you to start thinking beyond just you. I want you to think about, I want you to really ask yourself questions. I want you to be like, what knowledge do I have that I should pass down to younger guys? What do I know how to do that I could pass down to younger guys? You might know how to do music production on a laptop. So you might say, you know what, I'm gonna do a little program. I'll get some 5, 6 younger brothers and I'll teach them how to, you know, make music, produce music. You know? You can do that. Um, you should be asking yourself, what example am I setting? What impact do I want to have on younger people? Legacy is not something you create when you're old. You can start creating a legacy in your 20s or 30s. And you build it through everyday decisions. It's how you treat people, it's how you deal with responsibility, how you show up for your family, how you serve your community. In other words, it's not always just physical things you leave behind. Like most people think I'm going to have life insurance. I'm going to leave money behind for my family. Okay, that's the obvious thing. I'm going to leave a house that I own, and I'm going to leave the deed to my children or my wife or whatever. But it's also a legacy could also be when people call your name after you're dead and gone, and they say, "Oh, this brother, grandpa, uncle, dad, whoever you were to them, brother, brother, that brother kept his word. You could depend on him like this. If he says something, it's like the sun coming up in the morning. It's gonna happen. He shows up. He's always helping. So that legacy is more of an invisible legacy. It's more of a cultural legacy. What you leave in that case is a set of habits, a way of thinking and behaving that positively affects other people. They remember you. They say, you know what, so and so used to feed feed the hungry. So I'm going to start a food pantry and do like Uncle did. That's a legacy too. You didn't leave them anything physical, but you left a habit, a quality. That's a beautiful quality and habit that other people say, I'm gonna do like him, right? So the question here is not just what am I achieving? The real question, the deeper question is, what am I leaving behind? What am I leaving behind? So I guess as I close, I want to say, my brothers, those who are in your 30s, you got to understand you're in a powerful season of your life, man. You got physical strength. You got some type of education or know how. I'm sure you know some type of skill, right? You've been through some type of experiences in your 30s. You have enough experience to make better decisions. And you still have more than enough time to create something meaningful for other people. You still have more than enough time to eat and live in a way that your body is still strong and flexible, right, when you get older. But I got to tell you, time moves fast. Don't waste your 30s chasing all these distractions. The pretty women that ain't about nothing. The dudes that's always trying to get you instigating fights and getting you in these clubs where people getting shot every other week. Nah, man. Don't waste your time. Choose people carefully. Choose the places you go carefully. Always think about I'm valuable. Do I want to be in some place where I got to be watching my back every 10 seconds? Do I want to be in some place, some casino, every time I leave there, I'm losing my rent money? I'm spending it all? Do I want to make the fast food companies rich and I get fat and ugly and sick? You got to think, really. Build yourself, build your skills, get your money right, get your health right. Work on relationships and how you supposed to get down with a sister. If you're a guy that don't want to be in a monogamous relationship, you want to be with other women, you got to say that up front. Don't tell a sister it's just her, and it turns out you got 4 or 5 sisters going on. Just be honest. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of women that's cool with that because they don't want to be tied up with one man either. But don't lie. Be honest. Um, and I'm saying all this. Build your legacy. All these things I said, these 7 things. The man you become in your 40s is going to be determined by the man you were in your 30s. Remember that. Each decade affects the next 10 years after it. So the question is, do you have time? The question is, what are you doing with the time you have? This is Wise OG family. I want you to stay sharp, stay disciplined, and most of all, I want you to stay wise. Now, I want to show you this. I'm gonna make sure that you see this page I have here. I want to thank everybody for subscribing, for listening. If you're not subscribed, please do so. And I want to just do a quick promotion. That's my book. That's the cover of my book, The Real Wise OG Manhood Code. It's a good book. It's a thin book. It's 26 chapters. Each rule is a chapter, and there's 26 rules. But the chapters are like 3 pages, 5 pages, some a little longer. It's not meant to be an encyclopedia, family. It's meant to be a handbook, a book you can throw in your bag, take with you to work or school or whatever, and you can get through it. You can understand it, you know. but a book you're gonna keep coming back to because you're like, oh, what did he say about this rule? This just happened to me. So it's a reference book. It's meant to be a thin but powerful book. There's a lot of good stuff in it. Each chapter has 4 reflection questions at the end, so you can think about the rule. And I'm also going to be coming out with another book, but I'm not going to talk about that yet, that you will like as well. But for now, please scan the code there. You can go to Amazon, and you can see it. You can read the description. You can even go inside and you can read some of the pages. You know how Amazon does. You can read some of the book. It's probably like 20 pages you can read. So I would say check it out. If you're not ready to purchase, that's cool. But at least follow the link and go read the book description and go read a little bit of what's in it, and you'll see what I mean. You're gonna like it. With that said, let me see first. I'm ready to sign out, but it just dawned on me that people may actually have questions or comments. I don't see any questions or comments in the chat. I do want to say to everyone, thank you for being here. I'm going to actually type that in, even though it's the end of the broadcast. Thanks for coming. Because I do appreciate whoever's in here for being here, and I appreciate in advance those who are going to watch the later recorded version. Thank you so much, family. I hope you're really paying heed to these things. I write these scripts. I put a lot into it. I think about my life and my places I mucked up, the places I made dumb decisions, wasted money, wasted time with people who weren't worth it. And I think about the good things I did. And I try to make sense of those things and put them into lessons that will help you and save you time, save you wasted money, wasted time, and make sure that you are healthy, right? So that's all I have to say, family. I will see you next time. You know, I come out with a longer form video every Sunday. When I say long form, you know, something like 5 to 8 minutes. I don't do long videos like that, like these lives. They tend to be short. Most of my videos are the shorts, you know, a minute or less. But I like to dip into some other things, you know. But family, go through these playlists. If don't just listen to the live, go through my playlist and look at some of the other topics and videos. There's some good stuff here, and it's all for you. It's all dedicated to making you better. With that said, I want to thank you all for coming. You have a wonderful evening, and y'all be safe. Have fun, but be safe and make sure that you're making yourself a better man at all times. We have to be better men. Thank you.